The next materials and resources credit is purchasing ongoing. This credit applies to the following categories, all for 1 point. The intent is to reduce environmental harm from materials used in operations and maintenance of the building. Purchasing of ongoing consumable that meets environmental criteria can significantly reduce the environmental footprint of building operations. For example, products made with recycled content reduce the demand for virgin materials. And locally manufactured products support directly and benefit the local community. Energy Star qualified electric products use less energy when not in use and automatically enter low power mode. And as a result, these type of products often use 30 to 75% less electricity than standard equipment. This credit builds on the environmental preferable purchasing policy established in the MR prerequisite ongoing purchases and waste policy. It established the thresholds for the purchase of ongoing consumables and electrical powered equipment. Over to the requirements. There are no establishment requirements, there are for the performance. The requirements fall into 2 parts. First of all, ongoing consumables, the threshold 60% by cost, and then secondly, electrical powered equipment 40% by cost. Let's look more specifically to ongoing consumables. So purchase at least 60% by cost of the total ongoing consumables that meets at least one of the following criteria. Post-consumer recycled content exceed as listed in the EPA guidelines. Extended use, meaning that batteries should be rechargeable and toners for laser printers should be remanufactured. Sustainable agriculture, so it must be labeled USDA, Food Line certified, fair trade, etc. Local sourcing of food and beverages, meaning harvested and produced within 100 miles. Or bio-based materials, this means meeting the Sustainable Agriculture Network Sustainable Agriculture Standard. And for paper and wood products, certified for the FSC or USGBC approved equivalent. Now for electrical power equipment, purchase at least 40% by cost electrical power equipment that meets at least one of the following criteria. The first one is the EPA AT rating. So the equipment must have a silver electronic product environment assessment tool rating or better. Alternatively, the equipment should be Energy Star qualified. Now for schools and hospitality specifically or only, purchase at least 25% of cost of the total combined food and beverage purchases to meet at least one of the following. Exclude wine, beer, and liquor purchases from this calculation. They should be either sustainable agriculture or locally sourced. When we have a look at the documentation, we can see the following. Again, we split it up to all projects and hospitality and schools. For all of them, provide a list of compliant ongoing consumable purchases, a list of compliant electrical power equipment purchases made during the performance period, and a list of compliant food and beverage purchases made during that period. Document the verifying products and that they meet the criteria, for example, manufacturer's documentation or third-party certification. Provide the total cost of ongoing consumables and electrical power equipment. And for schools and hospitality in specific, provide the total cost of food and beverage purchases. For this credit, exemplary performance is available. So purchase at least 95% of the total on consumable and at least 80% of the electrical power equipment meeting at least one of the sustainable criteria that we mentioned before. And for schools and hospitality projects, purchase at least 50% of the food and beverage purchase meeting the criteria listed.